Hello, everybody, and welcome to Red 2 Chatter, the show about everything Star Wars. Got myself. Sorry for my voice. Their voices sound fine, but mine sounds like crap because I have a bit of sickness. So, but we have some, I don't know what kind of topics we have today. So,
first of all, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Hope everybody had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of took that week off.
Yeah.
Spend with family and do the Christmas thing.
Yeah.
But we're back in the new year 2018, so, as far as like goals for the channel, would like to, for me, it's just, just keep doing what we're doing, and I think the viewers will come eventually, and if not, well, we still have fun doing it.
That's the only break we've taken
since we started.
In half a year.
Yeah.
No, over almost a full year. We started back in, April? I want to say April.
It was right after the Star Wars
what
celebration.
episode is this? 30?
This will be 35.
Five.
So that's, out of 56,
that week.
56 weeks.
Yeah, it's like over halfway.
Over half. Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully, hopefully everybody had a great holiday season and spent time with families and did all that cool stuff.
As you can see, we don't have anything from our Christmas stuff here.
No, nothing new on the show. I mean, we've changed it up a little bit. We got a few more Han Solo things since Han Solo is on the docket.
Rey's just sitting here waiting for her 9th movie. Well, for her, episode 9.
And the Porg.
Yeah, and the Porg.
So what do we have today, Dallin?
I don't know. I'm
Keep going.
expected to cross 1 billion this week.
And it has already done that. We can start there.
Oh.
You don't have to go that far back. Well, we can start with that one.
Yeah, well, let's start with that one, because
right.
that one seems like an interesting one to talk about. So, fans start a petition for Disney to remove Star Wars The Last Jedi from the official canon.
It's not going to happen.
Ridiculous.
No.
It can't happen now.
No.
Otherwise, you just got to get rid of Force Awakens as well. That's
if you're a Star Wars fan, you don't want it to happen. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is for me.
Yeah.
So you didn't like the movie. Well, get over it. What else can we say?
Yeah. I definitely had issues with the movie, but I still enjoyed it as a Star Wars fan.
Right.
Yeah.
And actually, I just got done watching it again today for the third time. I liked it even more this time than I did the first 2 times.
I need to go watch
So
it.
It might be one of those ones that
Yeah,
grows on you.
it might be like the new Star Wars movies, Rogue One and Force Awakens, because the more you watch those, it seems like the better and better they get.
For me, it did that for me because it did clear up some of the issues I thought there were with the movie. Even though it, like we talked about earlier in the pre-production of this, it did
Have its
maybe
issues.
pose another issue. But I think that other issue is much smaller than the previous issue I thought there was with the timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there was maybe a major issue with the timeline because it seemed like Rey was on Octo for weeks, but only days were happening or 18 hours was happening for everyone else, and it just and then Kylo was somehow sucked into that days thing, and it just didn't feel like it made sense. But when you said you went and watched it again and you noticed that it does make sense,
It does.
so
To me,
I'll have to
I mean,
watch it again.
Yeah, just go see it again. And now that you've seen it twice, you don't need to you're not awed by everything, so you can really just kind of focus
Start
on
analyzing
what's
it.
going on. And I did finally pick up on it. I didn't pick up on it the first 2 times, but the little gaff with Finn's bag in the escape pod. Like you caught it.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it till
I caught it the second time with Ryan.
The
He never puts it in there. He just has it outside, and then the next time you see it, it's already inside.
Inside.
Yeah. So
I was like, wait a minute.
Definitely an editing
error.
issue.
Yeah.
More likely it was editing. More
Yeah, it was
likely
all
he said a
editing.
few more things, was putting his bag in there, but they just let's cut that part out. We don't need him to say whatever he was saying. And then,
Right.
But then no one
then you just
noticed.
had, the shift of the bag.
No one said, wait, how does he get the bag inside?
Well,
Is
half the
Finn
time
force sensitive? Can he just...
half the time I think they put those little things in just as little Easter eggs on purpose.
on purpose.
Yeah.
as homage to the earlier films
Films
that
that
had.
had those kind of things happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I think.
I mean, it's like that dude who's is supposed to be dead in New Hope, and Darth Vader throws him against the wall, and he puts up his
hands to block from getting hit. Yeah, right there on the Canto 4 at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just choked him to death, and he's limp, and then he throws him against the wall, and the guy throws his arms up to block from slamming his face against the wall.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame the guy.
Or, even the...
No stuntman's that good.
The famous... when the stormtrooper walks through the door. So, there's always been mistakes in...
Right, so I think sometimes
Star
they
Wars
intentionally
movies.
kind of put them in there now.
Yeah, that
You
could
know
be,
somebody would have to catch that.
you would think, because it was pretty obvious
like,
once I
just
saw it the
leave it.
second time, and
Right.
I'm sure you watched that scene more than once, over and over and over
Right.
again.
Yeah, now, a lot of people...
Well, it might take, I guess you could probably fix it digitally to fix it.
Yeah,
if
you
wanted
could
to.
if you wanted to. It's not necessary. It's just sort of one of those. To me, it's a Star Wars thing.
Like
No.
a cork.
Yep.
One thing that I kind of noticed about kind of a Star Wars thing, and I was actually watching a good YouTuber. His name is the Cosmonaut Variety Hour. Check him out if you haven't seen him. He's really good at analyzing movies and stuff, and he's really funny. And he was talking about how every Star Wars movie has what he likes to dub the stupid Star Wars moment, which is basically a moment that happens in the film that never comes up again. No one ever mentions it again. But yeah, it's in the film, and it is, it's like a little detour from the main story. So in New Hope, it was the sewer monster inside the trash compactor that suddenly attacks them, and after they get out of there, there's no explanation as to why that's in there, or anything like that. And then in the fifth movie, it's the giant worm that comes out, when they're stuck inside the worm. Again, no one mentions it after the fact. It's kind of just, it's there, and so on and so forth. For example, Attack of the Clones was the droid factory scene. But in this one, he said it was definitely the Canto Bite scene. Like, the horse racing part where they're going down the streets. And to be honest, when I first saw that, well, actually, the second time that I saw that, I was like, this reminds me a little bit of Aladdin for some reason. Like, them racing down the streets, crashing into crap and stuff. It kind of reminded me of a little bit of Aladdin. I don't know why.
But to get back to whether or not this is going to be canon, sorry folks, it's canon.
It's canon.
It's there.
You have the sign off by all the people that are involved with it. So
As
it's
soon
not
as the
gonna,
movie aired, it's done.
it's canon.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it now. So
Right.
just
And
moving
mostly
on.
it just
And
comes from all the.
Movies are a little bit harder to ignore than a book.
Yeah.
So,
But when you really think about The Last Jedi, it's just setting up the finale.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the sort of the in between
I mean,
if you take
you
the
could kind of
whole
say
story,
that's what Empire Strikes Back is a little bit.
Yeah.
It's all set up.
It's just setting you up for
In fact,
Luke becoming a Jedi.
In the
That's all that is.
trilogy, that's all the second is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a setup
yeah, it's a lot. It's
Yeah, for the climactic end.
of the climactic movie. Yeah.
Yeah, the beginning is character
Character
building.
building.
Middle is setting up the end.
Yes.
And the end is the
It's like
climax.
it's like the
climax.
3-act structure, of a movie.
right. See, you can look at The Last Jedi as a singular movie and say, maybe you didn't like it as much. But I think once you put it into context and we have all three movies in front of us, this Last Jedi is going to make a whole lot more sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And who knows, maybe this 9th movie, once it comes out, and if it's really good, people will start going back to that 8th movie and being like, you know what, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
It set it up the way it needed to be set up.
Yeah.
Maybe what it is.
That maybe you just have to wait for the 9th movie.
And, too bad the same can't be said for Attack of the Clones, but that's a different story.
That movie we don't talk about.
So what's our
that
next topic, Alan?
Disney now completely owns the Star Wars franchise.
This was them
completely
buying the
owns it.
content from 20th
Fox.
Century Fox.
Mm-hmm.
So which is good. Now I'm just hoping that I get my original cut Star Wars
Yes.
unedited.
And would not some
digitally remastered.
stupid, limited edition Okay, I don't want it has to be a race to get to it. Like, I don't want them to be like, oh yeah, we only got a limited stock, and if you call this number right now, you might win the sweepstakes of winning this movie.
They should.
They'll make it available to everybody if they're going to do it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they do it at all, it'll come out because they'll make a ton of money off of it.
I would
So
love
they're
to
just
see it
gonna-
on Blu-ray.
There's that.
Blu-ray.
That's the only thing. If they did
original
it,
trilogy.
they could do that. Put it out onto the Blu-ray where maybe the visuals are a little bit better,
Like,
but don't change.
Clean
the
it up a
story.
little bit, but yeah, like for example, some of like the
Even that.
like
though,
Don't need to clean that up. Just sharpen the image.
yeah, just that's what I meant, like the graininess of the footage, right? Like just
You don't even need. For me, I don't even need
Nope,
that to change.
I could
You
have
just-
the original.
yeah. I mean, but that's just something that
Release it as it was.
you could polish up a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah. So what's our next topic?
Well, happy birthday, Rian Johnson. That happened on 17th of December.
Yeah, well, skip that.
Rian Johnson on passing the sequel trilogy back to J.J. Abrams. He has a couple things to say.
To me, J.J. Abrams has. Now, okay, I just saw Last Jedi again. Rian Johnson actually leaves a lot of things wide open
For
J.J.
JJ.
just to take and run with. He can go in any direction he wants.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. doesn't want Snoke to be dead. Snoke doesn't have to be dead. J.J. doesn't want Luke to be dead. Luke doesn't have to be dead. In fact, I have a little theory
Yeah,
after watching
yeah,
this.
Jay's-
There's one.
Jay's
This,
got his theories.
this third one that. What if Luke was never on Octo?
But instead on Tatooine.
And what if he was always on Tatooine?
So that means he was a force image.
He was, yeah,
He
just
double
projecting
forced
his
imaged.
Yes, he basically double forced image, and that's what weakened him so much. And we only see the weakened part on the Octo because maybe he's still in that state. Because when he sees the twin suns, and you don't see the twin suns any other time when they're on Octo, and you go through an entire morning to night.
Yeah, it only
sequence
has one sun.
and another. You definitely see a sunset
yeah.
sequence in there.
So yeah, maybe he was on or maybe he was just looking to Tatooine.
Maybe,
Or he was just remembering
end.
his life.
and maybe he was just seeing Tatooine.
Yeah, he was
But
just...
like you said, it left
at
it
the end.
open that if
It
you
did leave it
wanted
open.
to, you
Right.
could freaking make it where.
Ryan Johnson
Yeah.
or
Well,
J.J. Abrams can pretty much do anything.
it basically says
Go
here,
anywhere.
like, from 7 to 8, it was mostly me asking J.J. Abrams about The Force Awakens and the choices in it. What do you think this meant? What do you think that meant? Getting all the information I can out of him. And so he's like, this is going to be a clean handoff. The same thing from 8 to 9. And I couldn't give you spoilers if I wanted to. JJ and Chris Terrio are off writing 9 right now. And we had a conversation where I just kind of gave them a download of where I left things and the potential that I saw. But the truth is, they're picking it up, and they're going to tell their story, and I just get to be an audience member now to see what they bring home. JJ was obviously conscious of setting up the possibilities of what could happen in 8, just the way with that with the ending of 8, I was interested leaving it with very exciting potential.
Right, I think he did. Like, first of all, you have the Resistance/Rebellion.
There's only like
like
20 of them now.
Yeah, there's very few.
Also,
But there's also very few really First Order.
you know that complaint about how people were kind of like I made a complaint, I think in the review of the movie, of the 8th movie, where people were like, "Oh, how does the First Order get everyone on their side just by blowing up their capital planet?"
Oh, it's just
And
fears
it's
what it is.
it's also because in I think it was the visual dictionary of the 8th movie or the 7th movie, they also explained that Leia broke off from the Republic because it was becoming very corrupt, like it did back,
That's what government does.
Well,
though.
back
Corruption.
then. So, yeah.
Right, if you read the book, and shit, I'm gonna forget what the name of it is. It's one of the Leia books that came out. It's not Leia, Princess of Alderaan, but it's I can't think of it right now. There is a book out there that does sort of dive into the split
Mm-hmm.
of the government, how they, there's a wedge kind of, and Leia is sort of at the center of that wedge. Once they find out that she's the daughter of Darth Vader,
Yeah.
because that's been kept secret for years.
True.
After Return of the Jedi, up until about 6 years before the Force Awakens takes place, nobody knew that Leia was in fact Vader's daughter. Once that knowledge became, then nobody trusted her.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody trusted her, so that kind of drove a wedge, and that's where the Resistance started,
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of the split off and the First Order started.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of that book. It's a good book. Definitely worth a read.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, and that's why everyone kind of just switched sides like that, was because they're like, oh, the Republic failed. Time to go back to these people, time to go to the First Order because maybe they have things figured out. That's basically the reason why
When I think
it was
even when the Empire ended, there was always Empire.
Oh yeah, there was.
sympathizers.
Yes,
Always.
and
So-
in fact, in the visual guide of the Force Awakens, it says that, or I think maybe in the Last Jedi, it says that the First Order was really freaking hated those Empire sympathizers because they were afraid that they would rise up against them as well, and so they kind of just went and wiped them out, basically, or converted them to their side. So that clears up a couple questions that I had. So I'm glad for that. But now I'm really interested to see where 9 takes it.
Right,
I hope the Knights of Ren come back.
Well, I think that was a creation of J.J.
Yeah,
Abrams,
and
so
I
I
think
think
he'll
we
use
will
it.
see that. I think so.
I think he
I
will
hope
use
so.
it.
Yeah, otherwise, kind of what was the point of even calling him the Knight,
The master
of the Knights of Ren
Yep.
or anything like that? What's the point if you don't ever bring it back?
Right. So what's up next?
Paul Bettany says Solo: A Star Wars Story is a gangster movie.
This
Not too surprised on that.
No,
I mean, it's
It's
you're
what it
dealing with
should
a
be.
you're dealing with a smuggler and a scoundrel and an outlaw. So usually the people he deals with are going to be also outlaws.
Gangsters.
Do you
There,
think
there has
we'll-
to be somebody, a
do you think
ringleader.
we'll have a starship chase scene, with him and the Millennium Falcon and a whole bunch of guys chasing him, and it'll be really intense, not like a slow chase scene like Last Jedi was, but quick, and maybe they're going through an asteroid field.
I don't
And
know.
he's trying to kind of
I need a trailer for this movie.
kind of like the only good scene, one of the only good scenes in Attack of the Clones was that huge chase scene between Jango Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi in that asteroid field. That was one of the coolest parts in that movie.
Yeah, no, that was probably my favorite part of that movie.
Well, I just liked all the Obi-Wan Kenobi parts. They were really good in that movie. The detective stuff. But I'm really excited to see how this movie turns out.
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, word is this Friday we should be getting some sort of trailer or teaser. That's the last I heard about it, was coming up this Friday.
And here we go. First Solo: A Star Wars Story trailer will be with us very soon.
What's that mean?
Right.
What's that mean?
Well, I think I put this one up on Facebook last week, and I think this weekend I heard that it's going to be on Friday.
This Friday?
Yep.
Ooh.
When or how it's going to come out, or
I'll just wait
at
until
what
YouTube has it,
what platform.
20
Well,
minutes later or whatever.
yeah, as soon as it's on any sort of television, it'll be on YouTube. So
And then we have sources say Disney is expecting Solo: A Star Wars Story to bomb. What sources though?
Yeah,
That's what I always,
I hate unnamed sources that aren't willing to put their name on it, or that you're just making stuff
Right.
up.
well,
To
mostly
get,
that
to get
whole-
bait. It sounds like
Screen
bait click to
Geek.
me.
Screen Geek. That's apparently who's telling us. So he says Disney is bracing themselves
Well,
for
it's
the
a
Han
source
Solo
close
movie
to
to
that.
bomb.
No. They're saying a source close to
the pick, which would be
claims
right.
that Disney is getting ready to
Yeah, they said they were worried about
spin off
it
the bomb.
all
the tank.
before all the Last Jedi controversy, but now they're essentially writing Solo off. The lead actor Alden Ehrenreich can't act, and they had a dialogue coach on hand for all of his scenes. On
We
top
already
of that,
knew all this stuff.
Right.
the script is
That's
unworkable.
why this just sounds like
Or this
clickbait
guy-
nonsense.
This guy never got the memo that Lord and Miller are gone, and Ron Howard is
Right,
working
took
on it.
over.
Took over.
Yeah, Ron Howard could get more out of because he's been around longer. He has so
Yeah.
much experience with working with different actors.
Yeah,
I'm sure he can get the best performance.
he can
And-
out of anybody.
Is focused on that, and not so much on the other stuff. You know.
Yeah.
Oh crap!
The problem I have with these kind of stories is unnamed sources. Well, that right there tells me don't listen to what they're saying, because you don't. If you're not willing to put your name to it, then shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I always.
And I can understand maybe there is a little bit of worry because there's a lot of people rumbling about The Last Jedi, and then that can kind of flow over, since this next movie is coming up in 5 months, that it can overflow into, well, the last movie that they made about Star Wars wasn't my favorite, so I don't know if I want to even go see this or whatever. But I still think it'll do a ton of money,
oh yeah.
and people are going to go see it.
Yeah, as soon as we get a trailer, that'll change everybody's perspective.
Yeah.
And that's when you'll kind of start knowing whether or not, is this, should we worry about this, or let's go, let's do this,
Yeah.
You can't really say anything until you've
But
seen a
seen
trailer.
at
Yeah,
least-
exactly,
At least
yeah.
seen some footage from the
Right.
movie.
Yeah.
I can't go, man, it's going to bomb because
Man.
I've seen nothing from it yet.
Yeah.
And all these Ron Howard tweets aren't adding up to anything. They're horrible. That's not the case. We
No.
can't tell anything from those tweets. And those are, exactly what Ron Howard meant them to be. Just little glimpses. You can't
and
make anything
I think-
of that.
From that one thing, editing, I don't think if Ron Howard was proud about the movie that he was making, I don't think he would tweet out
As much.
as he did.
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think he's being asked to do that.
No.
I think he's
Thinking
just
is
doing it on his
doing
own because he enjoyed doing the movie and he thought it was a good movie. He made
Exactly.
a
Yeah,
good movie.
exactly.
Yep. I don't think he's being asked to do any of that promo stuff.
Yeah, just
But he
off the
is,
cuff promo
right.
stuff. Yeah,
So we got Star Wars: The Last Jedi expected to cross $1 billion this week.
well,
And it did.
It crossed $1 billion. That was a couple days ago.
1 billion schmackos. But
That's
they-
worldwide.
And that was worldwide. Yeah, it's the number one movie of 2017 as well. Even though
Yeah.
it was only
It's
on
only
for
last-
16
yeah.
days or 17 days.
It was the
whatever
last
it is.
movie of 2017, basically.
And was only there for 17 days to accomplish that goal. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So even as much.
And it hasn't even hit in China yet. China hasn't even. They haven't even started.
No.
They haven't even shown it in China yet.
Yeah, they haven't even released it.
Even as much as I've heard,
And China would love it. 'Cause-
sort of how divisive the movie is between fans, critics, and just fans and fans. The theater I went to today, packed.
Still,
Yeah,
yeah.
on a Tuesday
It-
in the middle of the day.
At noon, packed.
Packed.
So take that.
Well, I think a lot
as
of
you will.
I think a lot of what the criticism you're getting is just a lot of friggin' trolls out there wanting just to badmouth Star Wars.
Yeah.
In general. They're probably not even real fans
Yeah,
of Star
yeah.
Wars. I mean, I it's not my favorite movie, but it's a good
Well,
movie.
you have...
It's an entertaining movie and it's fun to go to and watch.
Yeah, I mean, you have, the two sides. You got the people saying that if you hate this movie, then, you don't understand it, and you're stupid. And then if you don't... And if you're the people on the other side saying, if you like this movie, you're just a brainwashed Star Wars fan.
fanboy.
Yeah.
Right.
So, it's just... It's stupid. It's stupid.
That's why I follow more in the middle.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
same here. I'm right in the middle.
It's ridiculous. And you know that when we go to, say, Star Wars Celebration next time,
Oh, God, yeah.
all those people that are there, because those are the real fans
Yes.
to me.
Yeah.
People are willing to spend their real money to travel somewhere and stay
Take a
and
vacation, take time
come
out of their
out-
lives,
out of
money
work.
out of their pocket to go to a convention like that. Those fans are they're not necessarily fanboys,
No.
Or girls.
right? But they're just real fans of the
Fans
films.
Uh-huh.
of the franchise.
And everything that has to do
Yeah.
with that, from toys to
Books.
art to books to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I bet you don't hear a peep. I mean, there'll be like you.
Yeah, that would be
You would hear
debates.
some debating and stuff like that, but it'll never be like.
Yelling at each other.
It'll never be like violent, like you troll, you're this, you're that,
Yeah.
you're a dumbass. It'll never
yeah,
it'll be
'cause
civil.
Well, yeah, it'll just be like, no, but this, and then they'll
Right.
be like, yeah, but what about this part? And like,
Right.
yeah, but this happened, and they'll be like that. It won't be.
It would just
yeah,
be-
you're just a brainwashed idiot that loves Star Wars.
Right.
It's not going to happen.
It would just be a great conversation and debate amongst fans and really friends.
Heck, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised if there was a whole panel on the debate of Last Jedi. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because we'll have Last Jedi and Han Solo in the books by the time the next one rolls around. We might even be close to.
9, right there. We're gonna do it.
It'd be before 9.
It's gonna be next,
It'd be
not
just
this year,
before
but
9.
2019, right?
Yeah.
Is the next one.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
Yeah, that'll be
but
interesting.
you just won't hear that like real, like vitriol sort of like you're
Just-
wrong and I'm right and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It'll just be like you'll just hear civil debates and discussions, and I think
Yeah,
with-
on the internet when you're anonymous, it's too much for
Yep.
your
Yeah, it's easy
ability
to-
be just
when you're just a
polarized and just
It's easy to be a dick.
right,
Yeah.
when you're
Yeah.
a keyboard warrior, you're just out there. You don't have to worry about any sort of
actual repercussions
Right.
of like actually
of your
having a
words
debate.
or your yep.
Not like a face-to-face
'cause-
debate is way different than
'cause
I'm
no one
typing
can
this on my
punch you in
computer
the
and then
face.
I didn't have to like really listen to what you said. I just like glance at
Right.
what you said and then just attack you again. That's a lot harder when I'm sitting there right in your face going, but this,
right.
but what about
But
this?
explain this then. Yeah,
And
this-
you respond way quicker, way faster, and you can
And
even
there's-
interrupt and wait a minute, no, dude, you're totally misinterpreting what you're saying right there.
and there should be like there's a mutual respect there between those two people
mean,
talking face to face.
That's
There's no,
no
respect,
on the
at
internet.
all.
that's how it was with Force Awakens, though, because you had the people saying that it was the worst Star Wars movie ever.
Yeah, it was just a rehash
like
of,
our-
of
Like our
New
friend
Hope.
Don.
Don, yeah.
Don feels that way about.
Yeah, it's just a rehash of New Hope. That's all. That's his opinion, and I agree with him. There's some similarities there, but it's not the same.
But then people also say
I love to
Last
debate.
Jedi.
I love to get him on and debate him face to face about.
Yeah.
Or
There was a-
we should contact him. Maybe go out to lunch or something sometime.
Yeah.
And talk to him about what he thinks about Force Awakens
Awakens,
because I
yeah.
like to have his opinion.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone
he's a
say
huge Star
anything
Wars
about
fan.
Last Jedi.
Yeah. So, but like a lot of people are like, "Oh, Last Jedi is just Empire Strikes Back rehash." What?
There's nothing even similar except
The
for there's
only-
some ats on it.
And the only thing is like,
that's the only thing.
There's definitely callbacks and sort of like little whispers of both Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
I mean, if you think about it,
they're
Empire
completely
Strikes
different.
Back was also kind of a really long chase scene, but just not in the same vein as
right,
Last Jedi.
they're hunting them down.
Yeah,
The
it was more
Empire
of
is
a-
hunting.
it was more of
For
a
the
game of
Millennium
hide
Falcon.
and seek than tag. This was more like tag. Empire
Empire's more
Strikes hide and seek.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
But you're right. It's basically just a chasing. They're trying to run them down.
Except for the Luke part.
Right. Well, that takes place with Rey a little bit, but
yeah.
But it's totally opposite of Yoda friggin' actually training him to be a Jedi, where he's like, I'm going to teach you why either Jedi should frickin' end.
Yeah.
There's no similarity there.
No.
And it's only over
the
like,
lessons
it's
are
like
definitely
It's like
different.
also just a day and a half of her being on the planet, not like a long period of time of Luke.
Also, a lot of people complain about the lesson that Yoda gives, like his last lesson to Luke, which is, teach your failures. I'm like, and then people are saying, that's too simple for Yoda. I'm like, have you ever seen Yoda? Most of his lessons that he teaches
Are simple. Yeah,
because
they're not complex.
for example, first episode of Clone Wars, what does he teach the clones? He teaches them there are better ways to fight than with your guns. You also have to fight with your mind. That's one of the most simple, like...
Yeah, that's like...
yeah, you can outsmart your enemy
That's the
without
art
ever
of
using
war is
your
all
gun.
that is.
Yeah.
Use your brain. It works. It's a way better weapon than a gun.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Or could
Yoda
be.
Yoda is the most misunderstood
Character, yeah.
like within the galaxy. Like people want to hear what he has to say so much that they just take every word, and they only take the words, not the actual meaning behind
Yeah.
the words.
Yeah.
You know, so they think every word he says is so, like, biblical and, like, so thought-provoking, but it's so simplistic. And what he really wants you to teach, pass on what you have learned. That doesn't mean the stuff I've taught you here. That means everything you've ever learned
Yeah.
Pass it
in
on.
your life.
And if that means passing on, okay, this is what I did wrong. Don't
Your
do
failures.
this. That's like
Pass it on.
pass it on.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I love
So-
that scene with
So
Yes,
Yoda.
that's probably that's probably my favorite scene out of the whole thing, is with the Yoda.
All right, what's up?
We got The Last Jedi returns to being the second fastest grossing movie of all time. Who's really surprised?
Not surprising.
about
Surprised.
this?
Not this time of year, especially.
Yeah. This
Now,
one,
this
this one
one-
I'm happy about.
This one,
Made me smile when I saw it.
go ahead now.
John freaking Williams is composing theme to for Solo, the Star Wars story.
Now, is he only doing the theme song, or is he doing the
Entire
movie?
movie.
I
don't
it doesn't
know.
matter. As long as I get
As-
some John Williams sprinkled
Yeah.
in there, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. It's just a theme.
But it also
Good with that.
gives me confidence in the Solo movie, because if he's going to do the theme, he's already seen the movie.
Yeah.
At
Yeah, 'cause he
least
got
a majority of it.
I'm sure he's seen the whole. But he's seen the whole thing because he gets inspiration
Right,
from
because he
watching
has
them.
to, like,
And then he has
coordinate
to-
the music around it.
around what's happening.
And I
So-
don't think John Williams would do it if he thought it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
So that gives me confidence.
Yeah, it's not like he's looking for money.
Yeah. All right, we got probably the final, maybe the final one.
I don't think so. I think you'll
No?
get more.
I think we'll get more tweets, but this might be the final tweet before we get the
Trailer.
teaser.
You'll
Teaser
see it
trailer.
up here. It is. He says, "Happy New Year from the team Solo. We're pretty pumped for 2018." So I don't know who's holding this. It might be him. I don't know, but it's. I think that's
I'm
the
guessing that's how.
My
Millennium
guess
Falcon,
is that's
right?
Alden Ehrenreich.
Ehrenreich is Han Solo. Yeah.
Is that the Millennium
No.
Falcon?
Nope.
No,
I think
That's
that's
gotta
a
be a speeder.
Yeah, I think
Be
that's
my
like
guess.
a land speeder or some sort of racing pod.
God.
Like,
Yep.
you know, maybe there's pod races, and then there's maybe another form of racing that.
Try
people like
spinning.
Han Solo
That's a good
do.
trick.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. Don't start.
There's a nod to the spinning in Last Jedi.
In Last Jedi, yeah.
Kylo does it,
Yep.
and it's a complete like callback to that
Yeah.
moment of Phantom Menace.
Yep, it was. I love that
But-
line. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's probably Han Solo inside some sort of speeder.
Yeah.
He's got like some stonewashed jeans on or something.
I think that's just dirt on his black pants.
I think it is. Just
Mud,
like
Maybe he
whatever.
just got.
dust.
Dust.
Maybe he
so maybe
like.
he's on Tatooine.
Maybe he's running away from some people, and like.
Oh, he could have like stole this as he was trying to get away, and
Yeah.
he's running from the authorities, like
No,
the
it's a good
Empire or
question.
something. Who knows?
Will we see Tatooine on the? I think we.
I
almost
think
have
we
to.
have to see Tatooine.
I think that seems like a pretty
It's
common home base
for smugglers and for
Han Solo
yeah,
in
yeah.
particular.
and just for dirt bags in general.
Yeah, because it's Mos Eisley.
Yeah,
You'll
Well,
ever
he
find
does
a
a lot of-
place.
a hive
I
of more scum,
scum and villainy.
and he
Yeah.
obviously does a lot of jobs for Jabba.
Yeah,
So
and Jabba's on Tatooine,
Right.
so
I would think that he would
I don't
spend
think we'll
time
see
there.
Jabba and Jabba's palace, but we might see Tatooine.
Now, there's been another couple rumors. I don't think I posted anything about it, but that we'll get maybe some Boba Fett in this movie.
Maybe. Some
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
In the Solo movie?
In the Solo movie.
It would make sense too. I mean, this isn't very far before A New Hope.
Hope, yeah.
So
It's not.
I
Boba
think-
Fett's out there.
I think personally, what they might do is the very end of the movie. They walk into Mos Eisley, they sit down for a drink, and then it
I
just
don't think
ends
it's
right
gonna-
there.
I don't think it's going to be that close.
You know,
And then the next scene of Obi-Wan and Luke coming in.
you don't think it's gonna be that
happens.
close at the end? The end of this
But
movie?
you don't think like at the very end you'll hear freaking
Or-
Walrus Man scream and as his hands get
You might hear though, like them go. So what's up? What's next, Chewie or whatever?
Yeah.
You know, Mos Eisley sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's like all you
the
hear.
cantina sounds like a good idea
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, we might try out and stopping at the cantina to get something to drink. And they don't say Mos Eisley, they don't say Tatooine, they just
Yeah.
say the cantina.
Cantina,
And then-
and you know what? Yeah,
Maybe you never know. I'm people like it's gonna bomb. I'm looking forward to this.
oh yeah, me too.
Me
I
too.
am.
Now that Last
because,
Jedi is behind
Like
us.
the
and
funny thing is that when
Because it's even different than, like, Rogue One. It's
Yeah.
different. So,
And like,
it's not
the
really
funny thing is,
Empire.
like when this first got announced that there was gonna be a Han Solo movie, I was like, really? Han Solo? Out of everyone you could have you chose Han Solo?
And he was already young. I mean, what are you going to do? Young Han Solo. He was already a young guy in the New Hope. But now that it's here, and I know it's a gangster movie, and I know I'm looking forward to it.
Probably some real big
pretty jazzed about
smuggling
it.
stuff going on. Like, I'm pretty excited.
When you really think about it, though, of the original trilogy, Han Solo is the most unknown
True.
of the characters.
Besides-
then I would think Leia would be
Besides,
second.
Obi-Wan before the prequels came out.
Right.
He was probably the
Yeah,
biggest
prior
mystery.
to the prequels. Yeah.
But even with, like, if you just take Star Wars as a whole, Han Solo is probably...
Not as
like,
mysterious
the first
as Yoda.
The first 6 movies.
Yeah.
You have Han Solo has probably the more checkered past that you don't really know much about.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just get little details like, Lando's just an old friend.
Yeah, just like little sprinkles of stuff.
Right.
And I agree, Leia's probably the next most, where you don't really know much about what she was doing before A New Hope.
Right. But that's until we got more of her in Rebels and
True.
a little bit more
Or in Forces of Destiny.
and a little bit more of her from even Rogue One, just seeing Bail Organa.
Yeah.
In Rogue One, you get a little bit more connection to Leia just through him.
Yeah.
So Han Solo's character is definitely a character that you don't get a ton of information about.
Yeah, he's one of the more mysterious characters, really, about his past anyway.
Yeah, because he doesn't really talk about it.
Right, and he's always very cautious about joining. He doesn't really want to join. He's kind of thrust into it by circumstance. He doesn't want to join.
No,
the
even
rebellion.
in Force Awakens, he doesn't want to go back.
He
and
wants
redo
nothing
any
to
of
do
that.
with it. Right, he just gets drawn into it, and his love for Leia keeps him there. By the time Return of the Jedi comes around, because Leia goes and rescues him. Well, he's like, now I owe her a debt of, I have to do this thing for her.
For her, yeah.
Besides that, I'm falling in love with her. So, he would rather have just, I'm out.
That's what his plan was after
Right.
New Hope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
But the guilt, I think,
I think it
weighed
also,
on him a little
is
bit.
also the reward. I mean,
Yes.
he is a smuggler. He is a guy about money. He's
I
like,
can make some more if I do this.
Yep,
And
fine.
I'm going to be seen as a hero.
And then
too.
I'll go pay
And you're like,
Jabba
yeah.
off
Yeah,
and he
Yeah.
never makes it.
No.
Never makes it.
Because they get
Caught up into something
They
else.
get caught up into something else, having to
Okay.
establish their base
Something
on Hoth,
happened,
and
and
then he's going to leave again.
Well,
after
also-
they get settled on Hoth.
Not only
Well,
that, but
they get
the
discovered.
bounty hunter on
Ord Mantell?
Ord Mantell.
Yeah.
Yeah, forces
So-
him to go back and have to pay off his debts.
Yeah.
I'm guessing they were looking for another base there on that planet.
Right, or something. Yeah, they ran.
Just
yeah,
got busy and never got around to paying
getting
Jabba
back to Tatooine, right? So I mean, Han Solo is one of the coolest characters, and not just cool, like Joe cool, but just one of the most intriguing
Joe
characters.
cool.
Yeah, very, very intriguing. Very,
I haven't heard
you want
that.
to know more about him, and
Never heard
that's
that
what I'm
term
looking
in a
forward to
long
in this
time.
movie, is learning more about Han Solo.
Yeah.
Because if you read, like, the Star Wars comic books, he has a wife, or she claims she's his wife.
Yeah, but
But
they
she's
were never married.
They were never married. But who is this woman? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff about him that you don't know.
Yeah, Sana Solo. I think we're gonna get some of her in this movie.
I kind of hope for Dash Rendar personally, because to be honest, Dash is probably one of my favorite Legend characters, and to see him come back into canon would be freaking awesome. Because I love Dash Rendar.
All right. So what's up after?
Rian Johnson will reportedly begin filming his original Star Wars trilogy this year in Scotland.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Where,
I mean,
where?
like I said,
What
I've
planet could be Scotland?
seen The Last Jedi three times now. This third time was the best viewing so far. I want to see what Rian Johnson can do for an entire trilogy, just his movies.
Just his movies, and not tied to the saga.
Yes.
Right. Something totally just Star Wars
Separate-
related, but not
Right.
not the saga.
Separate from anything we've ever known.
It
in
could
the
be
Star
like,
Wars
you
No,
know,
universe.
because then he's not, and he doesn't have the constraints that really this movie, The Last Jedi, he had constraints because he got left with what J. Abrams gave him,
Right.
and he had to work with that.
Yeah,
And he's
so
already
this
in
time-
the confines of having to deal with Luke and Leia, and
Yeah.
already has that.
Now he
All
doesn't
that
have,
backstory.
He doesn't have that. I mean, he still has to get through it's canon, and he's got to get through all those jump through all those hoops to keep everything I guess they don't have to make this canon if they don't want.
It'll be
but
canon.
I'm guessing it's going to be canon. So you still have to jump through some hoops because you can't like add stuff in that's going to contradict everything else.
Yeah.
But I don't think this is going to be a movie about the Force. I don't think it's going to be a movie about Jedis or anything like that. I think this is just going to be, I have no clue, but something that he's thinking up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm just interested to see what it is.
Now, I forgot what I was gonna say.
But it's
Oh no, I was gonna
but that
say
they're starting filming already is
I was trying
crazy.
to think of like how he would do these movies like title wise, and I was saying like he could just call it the blank trilogy of Star Wars films.
I'm guessing it's all going to be something a Star Wars story.
I was thinking kind of like
Or
Star Wars
blank-
the
blank-
blank trilogy.
Or something episode
Could
2.
be.
Star Wars story.
Or
I'm feeling
Star
everything
Wars
that's not the
something chapter 2 or
I'm feeling everything's going to be that's not the saga is going to be a Star Wars
Do you
story.
think it'll
It's gonna
have
be
a-
the tag at the very end.
Do you think we'll have a crawl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet it has a crawl.
I bet he doesn't. I bet they leave the crawl just to the.
Well, A New
Saga.
Hope had a crawl. Oh, not New Hope, but Rogue One
One.
didn't
No, it
have a
didn't.
crawl, didn't it? Okay, so yeah, I bet you he doesn't have a crawl.
Yeah, I bet he
I
doesn't.
bet
have
you
a
that's
crawl.
something they won't allow.
Okay.
I bet they saved that just for the saga films.
Okay.
That's right. No, it didn't have one that started off
Nope, they start off with a backstory
with Krennic landing on that planet,
Yep.
right? And going after Jin's father.
when Jim
Yeah.
was just young.
So that's the last of news from around the galaxy.
Got quite a bit to get caught up
And
on.
hey, our camera has
yeah, we might have solved that
survived.
problem.
Well, it's got one bar, so let's make this whatever.
All right, well,
your legend stuff quicker.
yes, I do have the legends up and ready. So this character is personally one of my favorite characters. Her name is Kina Ha, and she is the only Kaminoan Jedi known, like, ever. So basically, she was born, of course, on Kamino, and she was genetically altered to survive long hyperspace journeys. And so, basically, these deep space missions were never carried out, and Ha was left without a purpose on her highly organized homeworld, which is kind of seen as a big no-no in Kamino society. You know, you have to have a purpose, basically, in their society. But when she grew into adulthood, her Force sensitivity started to manifest itself. Of course, the Kaminoans don't really like the Force all that much. They don't really like Jedi in general. So,
Seem more scientific.
yeah. So they kind of, say, like, get out of here. So she gets put as an outcast, and she departs her homeworld. She eventually gets a Jedi Master, a rogue Jedi Master, called Krastok, and he's actually a Trandoshan Jedi. So he's Bosk. He's the same, and he gets, he trains her as a guardian. She gets her lightsaber, and all of that, and eventually, she winds up on Veruscu, and she never really had very good relationships with the Jedi Council. She never really agreed with a lot. She was kind of like Qui-Gon Jinn in that she didn't really agree with a lot of the stuff that the Jedi Council believed in. So she kind of saw herself as more of a gray Jedi than anything. And so eventually she has a terrifying vision of it from the Force of Order 66 and the clones and everything like that. And this is before the clones were even being made. There was just kind of a thought in one of the Kaminoans' heads. And so she decides that she wants to go back to Kamino and basically stay there for a little bit. So she goes underneath the water of Kamino and hides out in this cave underwater, basically waiting for the time when Order 66 rolls around so that she can try and stop it. But she doesn't know what clones are going to start it. She doesn't know, like, what phase of the clones are going to start it or anything like that. So she's kind of making a big guess, and she'll just have to wait for the disturbance in the Force to call her back up to stop it.
Oh, it's gonna be too late.
Yep. She doesn't make it, of course, but she does get picked up by Mandalorians who bring her back to Mandalore to basically hide out there from the clones. And she's actually one of the few Jedi who actually survives Order 66. And she basically stays out on Mandalore for the rest of the time, just kind of living out her life with the rest of the Mandalorians, and in fact, training her own Padawan in the process. So, yeah, that's basically her thing. She's, her personality trait. She's kind of a sneaky person who she cheats at Pizak using her force powers and stuff. She's not a very honorable person.
Like Qui-Gon.
Yeah, she's like Qui-Gon. She cheats and she
Rolls the dice.
Nice.
Over.
has a cunning sense of humor and stuff. So yeah, she's personally one of my favorite characters. And what do you guys think of her?
Well, I love. They're one of my favorite species, the Kaminoans. I just like the way they look, and they're sort of like.
They're almost like what we consider aliens, like a gray but with a longer neck.
Yeah.
What actual humans on Earth think there are aliens.
Yeah,
and
right.
The grays and
With the big head.
the grays,
and
the greens, and the lizard people.
Yeah.
Well, they kind of remind me of the grays, but with like a longer neck.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the Kaminoans too, and the character seems pretty cool. I wouldn't have a problem with them bringing something like that because she doesn't have a huge deal to do with like interrupting what has already happened in canon. So you could bring somebody like this into canon, and it wouldn't really do anything.
Right, you could easily make a smaller story of like adventures with her and her Padawan, where they're
after the Clone Wars happened and all that stuff.
right. They're out there doing things for other people on other
Maybe
planets.
the Mandalorians.
Maybe just investigating, or taking care of problems that they have, or doing stuff like that. Sort of like Ahsoka did in her novel, where she was just kind of like Ahsoka was on a planet and she was a mechanic. Like that's what she did. Like she helped fix farm equipment for the people who were living there.
Yeah.
And they would just bring her stuff to fix, and she would fix it, and sitting back at all the while she's sort of watching over them.
Yeah.
And I could see
Something
her
similar
and
like that.
a similar story.
So with
Like
this
that taking
picture
place.
with the hat, the reason why she wears the cap is because Kaminoans' eyes are very sensitive to light, because they live on a planet that is completely cloudy and dark all the time.
But they're in those freaking buildings that are all
White.
white.
Right.
Maybe
stark white, clean,
like a hospital.
hospitals. Yeah.
perhaps that's
that's what they are, pretty
maybe
much.
that's artificial light.
Yeah,
Doesn't-
maybe the
Artificial
sunlight.
doesn't bother them, but like
Her hat kind of looks
actual-
like Zam Wessel's.
yeah,
A
it
little
does.
bit.
Yeah, it does.
You can put that picture up so people can look.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
it.
yeah. She's just gonna be like right up there or something. But yeah, I really like her. I think that should be a really cool addition, to the Star Wars canon. If they made a novel about her,
Yeah,
Or
or
a comic
something.
book, or
Comic
she
book.
showed up in a comic book
She'd
series.
be great in a comic book series just because the way they look
Especially like
is so well done for comics.
I
yeah,
could see her the Dr. Aphra comic.
Yeah.
Dr. Aphra stumbles upon her.
Uh-huh.
That'd be pretty cool.
I could see
Right.
that.
Yeah,
That'd be-
Kinaha, one of my favorites. There's also another one that I'll get to
Speaking of
later.
Dr. Aphra,
What?
gotta see if that toy ever came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll
That
never be able to
Legends
find it.
figure. I'll have
but-
to look it up.
I'll start doing more characters from Legends because I find them really interesting. For example, the next one is going to be a species that is a Jedi who ends up becoming kind of evil in the end, who you would never expect. Can you guys guess what the species is?
Chewie. Wookiee.
There was Wookiees, but no. There are Wookiees.
Just because Wookiee seemed to always be
Always
really...
saw a Wookiee in
Yeah, in Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Yeah. I was just thinking maybe a Wookiee because
It's a
they're
hut.
usually pretty nice. A hut. How do they even use them?
And it's actually Leia ends up killing him.
Again.
She is the Hut Slayer.
The Hut
She is the
Slayer.
Hut Slayer. So, yeah, but that's it for today's show.
Yep. All right. Sign us off.
Someone, okay. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Jay, where can people find you?
Find me on Instagram, posting some fan art. I just did a Tauntaun and a Rancor I just put up.
You should do a Wampa next.
Well, I got some other things up my sleeve.
Yeah,
But
man.
so Instagram page J Wilson by Design. And you can find me over on Twitter, Jaybird51. And, of course, on our Facebook page, Red2Chatter.
Yes.
I don't do social media next.
Yeah, I don't even know why I looked at it.
And I am on YouTube as well under Major Glitterix, linked down in the description below. Right now I'm going through, of course, Dragon Age Origins, and then I'm going to hopefully start up Yakuza 3 soon if I can get my hands on that game. So, yeah. But we will see you guys next time, and bye!
See ya.
So, yeah.